It's gone.
It's gone.
It's
But I
gone.
still wiped it down. I mean, that's a hot little show. They better call it show if that's a hot little TT's night out for Mother's Day. That's TT's night out.
TT.
What do you mean? Uh-huh. Okay.
Because I saw it on your stream. And I love the commercial.
What up?
Commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they explain it, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chucky. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power.
Hey, so I'm calling your show.
Wagwan, what up?
Show me which way to go.
Everybody hit that like button.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hit his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Hit that like button. Let's go. Come on. $74,318 subscribers, and we got 13 people in there. Stop playing. Hit that like button. Let's go. What up?
Can you imagine for just a moment that before you were born, your soul stood at the edge of eternity and chose your family? Not by accident, not by some cosmic mistake, but with intention, with purpose, with a level of divine precision that only a soul on a mission could have. And yet, here you are, questioning why. Why would you be placed in a family that feels like walking through fire? Why would your first experience of love be laced with pain? I've asked those questions too. And here's what I've learned. Being born into a toxic family is not a punishment. It's not a curse. And it's not a random stroke of bad luck. It's a sacred calling, one that only the strongest souls accept. But I know, it doesn't feel like that. Not yet. So let's go deeper together. Let's uncover why your soul chose this path, and how it's shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. The furnace of the soul. Toxic families are like fire. They burn, they consume, and they leave behind scars that never fully fade. But do you know what else fire does? It purifies. It melts away the superficial and reveals what's real. That's what your family did. whether they meant to or not, they handed you a torch and said, "Here, walk through this fire and let it make you unbreakable." You see, chosen ones are not here to live easy, ordinary lives. You're here to break cycles, to transform pain into power, to take the suffering of generations and end it with you. And that is not for the faint of heart. You were born into patterns to shatter them.
Ooh.
Your family's toxicity is not random. It's ancestral. It's generational. It's a chain of pain passed down like an unwanted inheritance. And you were born to be the last link in that chain. Think about that. Your soul didn't come here to repeat the same patterns. You came to transmute them, to alchemize the pain into wisdom. But here's the hard truth. You cannot break a pattern you have not lived through.
Ooh.
You can't rise above something you refuse to face. And so, you were placed right in the center of the storm, not to be destroyed by it, but to learn how to calm it, to become the eye in the hurricane, the mirror of their pain. Let me ask you something. When you look at your family, what do you see? Anger, manipulation, control, neglect. And now, the deeper question. Where do you see that same energy in yourself?
Ooh.
Because here's the raw, uncomfortable truth. Toxic families are MIRRORS. They reflect back to you the very wounds you came here to heal. If you grew up with emotional neglect, you may struggle to validate your own feelings. If you were raised in chaos, you may seek control over everything. If you were taught love was conditional, you may believe you have to earn your worth. But do you see the hidden gift? Your family's dysfunction reveals your areas of healing. It gives you a map to your own freedom, the brutal beauty of healing. Now, let's be clear. This path is not easy. Healing from a toxic family is one of the hardest roads a soul can walk. It will ask everything of you. Your strength, your patience, your forgiveness. It will ask you to feel the wounds you were never allowed to feel, to give yourself the love your family could not, and to...
Listen, hey, this is how you start a Monday off? Y'all thought because I had a weekend that I wouldn't come back and choose violence? Hey, this work is never going to end. I got to keep doing it. That clip is so profound. I am chomping at the bit to dissect some of the pieces that were said. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you right now, get to your phone lines right now, 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. I am giving away some tickets. How many tickets? 2 tickets?
Just a pair for the night.
I'm giving away a pair of tickets for the Queens. 4 legends, 1 stage. Shaka Khan. I'm giving Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. Sunday, May 11th for Mother's Day. If y'all don't call in right now to get this pair of tickets, man, hey, I'm giving away a pair of tickets right now. If you're in the LA area, you already know what it is. This is for LA. Get at your brother right now. 1-800-920-1580. The 4 Queens, 4 legends, 1 stage. Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. Okay, Sunday, May 11th, Mother's Day at the Forum, at the Kia Forum. You know, it goes through so many names. If you from LA, you just call it the Forum. But now it's the Kia Forum, right next door to SoFi Stadium. Hey, man, y'all better call me if you want these tickets, 1-800-920-1580. These tickets are on me. Zoe Williams handing out tickets, man. Whoever that first person is, I'm going to let them know. But let me get back to tonight's topic. The flames are real. The flames are real. You chose your family. You chose your spiritual curriculum so you could learn to overcome something that needed to be dealt with. The brother said, we hand the baton of fire to you to run the race. Now, you have free will, so you can run in the other direction. You can ignore the work that you were born to, listen to what I'm going to say, born to transcend, born to transmute, or, like I said, you can run away. I and the Father are one. How to become one's own parent, or choose to remain an eternal, petulant child. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. It's about to get hot in here. True or false? It is my responsibility to finish, i.e., reparent myself because of my parents' incompleted and or abandoned work on me. True or false? It is not my significant other's responsibility to reparent me. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. The reparenting scam seduces the wounded with promises of unconditional adulthood. A Ponzi scheme peddling emotional autocracy. Right? Autarky, excuse me. Autarky, excuse me. Under capitalism's leering gaze, your inner child becomes a product to optimize. A self-help prison where the truly free have no need to heal. True individuation demands that we abolish the very categories of child and parent. For these are the master's tools, not the master's undoing. To become one's own progenitor means confronting the quantum madness at the heart of selfhood. The self as a hall of mirrors, right? And Ouroboros of trauma and transcendence. There is no ladder to ascend, only the courage to smash every pedestal on which you've been made to perform your own immolation. What is immolation? Set yourself on fire. The path to rebirth lies through destruction, not completion. See, I'm trying to put something on you today. And I've been telling people about this for a long time. Reparenting, right? Reparenting is really just breaking up with the ideas and concepts and beliefs that your parents poured into you that actually formulated your sense of self. And if you're getting this from toxic people, imagine how warped your sense of self might be. Do you see? We are here on planet Earth to reconcile, right? The broken origin we all come from. I don't believe in the concept of chosen ones. I don't. We're all chosen ones, or we all have the potential to be. But because we have free will, many of us run away from the work. There's no spiritual hierarchy. The higher you go in spirituality, meaning the more consciousness, the more conscious you become, the less there is a need for I'm better than, I'm smarter than. The less there is a need for evaluation, for grading, for degree. Do you understand? Spirit doesn't work in a linear fashion. You become a chosen one when you decide to confront what is only yours to confront. That's a chosen one. Epigenetic matricide, annihilating inherited maternal trauma through alchemical shadow and transgressive rebirth. What does it mean? Studies on transgenerational methylation patterns in maternal trauma transmission, Jungian shadow integration as neuroplastic disruption of toxic archetypes. How do you focus on turning a relationship into a soft space when you haven't reconciled the toxic archetypes in your bloodline? Relationships will serve as landmines for the generational bloodlines of work that has been ignored throughout the generations. The relationship with itself is designed to detonate those landmines with each new connection. See, we want the relationship, we want intimacy, right? But we punk our partners with passion. We punk our partners with pretense, right? We punk our partners with performance. Do you see? I know you don't want to hear it put this way, but I got to do it. We act right so we can get what our wounds crave. Do you see? Jungian shadow integration as neuroplastic disruption of toxic archetypes. What is neuroplastic? The neuroplasticity of neurons in the brain. You were born into a pattern, and that pattern was disjointed, fragmented, broken, unhealed. Most of us. I'm tired of people acting like they had a perfect childhood. No, you had a childhood full of secrets. Just because it was discreet don't mean it was healed. Ooh. Who am I talking to? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I want to talk to y'all. I want to talk to y'all. Your philosophical angle here. Vitali's limit experience as ritualized destruction of internalized mother complexes. Alchemical, right? Nigrido phase as conscious descent into Oedipal darkness. Patriarchal divination, weaponizing daddy issues to hack power structures through ancestral hauntology. fMRI scans, they show linking insecure attachment styles to heighten pattern recognition. Oh, it looks like he's finna leave. Oh, it looks like he's lying. Oh, do you see hyper focused and hyper heightened attention on these patterns? Because somebody's gonna leave me. Somebody's gonna deceive me. Somebody's gonna hurt me. Relationships become universities when you consistently struggle to confront yourself. How do you become the parent to yourself that your parent never was to you? When we come forward, the voice of reason gonna keep this fire lit. What we on tonight? What we on tonight? Everybody hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. I would like for you to call in. Hey, who won the tickets? Who won the tickets?
Terry Taylor,
Terry Taylor from
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Many opportunities for the trickster to be of help. Boop. Tapped in. I love you, girl. I love you, tapped in. Nikki from the SIP. Everybody hit the like button, 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 hit the like button. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Hey, tell them folks if they trying to call in now, because at 7:30 I'm about to go get my dinner.
Hey, Andy said if y'all trying to call in now because at 7:30 he gonna run get his dinner. He knows y'all like to call when he's on break. Call in now so I can get you in the system and we can get going. Okay? Can I get y'all on the phone right now? 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580.
KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray
What up,
Grady,
Kenneth?
has hand-selected supremely talented comedians
It was fire.
to host all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number because Ray, he's going to text it live and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
Didn't even realize I got the live version. It's still the song though.
Is it possible to reparent yourself because you're actually not a parent? I think it's a fascinating question and allows me to talk about an element of my treatment program. If we understand SLDD, SLDD is caused by attachment trauma. That is neglect, abandonment, deprivation, and or abuse at the hands of a pathological narcissist parent and SLDD parent, codependent. And that is tremendous trauma that is so painful. As we said, it's cordoned off and placed in the darkest resources of our brain where we can't remember. But essentially, all children who have attachment trauma did not receive the parenting that is essential for all humans. And by the way, for primates and higher level mammals, that they need love, respect and caring, nurturing, warmth, holding, touch, play, smiling, all this stuff that no parent is perfect at, but if you're well-meaning and normally imperfect, the child grows up getting, and I wrote about this in my book, I call it vitamin L, vitamin love.
Vitamin L. Man, that's heavy, Dr. Ross Rossenberg. Keep cooking. Huh. The act of reparenting oneself, that hallowed process of nurturing one's wounded inner child, has metastasized into a cultural dogma. We chant mantras of self-compassion while quietly replicating the power dynamics we claim to escape. To ask, must I finish my parents' abandoned work? Risks blasphemy against the gospel of radical self-reliance. Yet beneath this question pulses a darker truth. The reparenting movement often smuggles in the very hierarchies it seeks to dismantle, reframing liberation as a capitalist hustle cloaked in therapeutic jargon. The eternal child is revolutionary. Society pathologizes the eternal child. Not because they fail to individuate, according to Jung, that's his piece, individuation, but because they reject capitalism's demand for hyperproductive adulthood. Consider Van Gogh, whose quote-unquote failure to self-parent birthed transcendent art. Jungian analyst Marion Woodman argued that Western culture murders the divine child through premature adaptation to toxic norms. The child is to be untouched. Even Jesus himself said, "Be ye as children." Do you understand? The child is pure. But here's the paradox. When the child has modeled broken adult leadership, which is the case for most of us, it harkens back to my initial clip, which talks about you choosing these experiences so that you may learn to overcome them through the development of internal resilience. Where does internal resilience come from? The excavation of self-awareness, self-knowledge, right? Self-knowledge leads to self-acceptance. Self-acceptance leads to self-empathy. Self-empathy leads to self-love. Do you see? But many of us were not taught this. Do you understand? We were not taught this. We were taught that someone is going to come along and make it all better. We were taught, in a way, conditioned to be codependent, to look for love elsewhere. And all the while, carrying this concept, this ideation quietly. Something's wrong with me. I'm broken. Why didn't that one respond to me? How come they left me? Right? It's a pattern repeating. The inconsistency of this relationship feels like the inconsistency of the first one I became cognizant of. When we come forward, the voice of reason going to the phone lines. Let's talk. What we on? Y'all like the setup so far? Is the setup righteous?
Some straight talk. This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Phil Williams. KBLA Talk 1580.
Come on, promo. What's happening, new promo? That promo crazy. Get to your phone lines. I don't want to keep begging. Hit that like button. No, hit that button now. It's Monday. We got to be energized. Let's go. Hey, Who heard the Zoe What Morning Show today? Who heard it?
New York correctional officer has pleaded guilty to felony manslaughter in the death of Robert Brooks, a 43-year-old black inmate. Christopher Walker
Zoe What was crazy today. I was in there wilding.
at Marcy Correctional. He's one of 6 officers charged. FBIN News Now on demand.
Empress, was it on? It was on point. Shit, who didn't is the question, huh? The first half. Zoe, what's up, my guy? What up, Johnny Lawson? Yeah, I was tripping this morning. I was on one. Like mansions, yeah. It was lit. It was tough love. Teach about what again? I was cringing the whole time. I'm sorry. Nikki, I'm sorry. It was a sermon. Ah. Yeah, we all miss the old days. Morals. Yeah, I talked about that today. The 304s were genderless. That's crazy. Big up the likes. Thank you, Royalty. When Uncle Oz come, I just listen. Why are people calling and hanging up? I'm confused. Call in. Come on, y'all. Stop playing. I wasn't quite ready for the real. I was driving. I hear you. Andy, the winner again? Terry Taylor. Criminal sovereignty. It's diabolical. It is. I was just surprised. Surprised at what? I have taught some of those concepts before. I just put it in the context of being in a matrix. That's all. I've taught all of those concepts before. I guess I was a bit aggressive. My bad. My potty mouth, yeah. Not so blunt while I'm driving. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was turned. You was cussing, huh? Well, over here, I don't curse at all while I'm on the air. You on one today in the chat this morning? Yeah, I was tripping. I'm sorry. Royalty, call in. Let her know.
But we need to encourage, oh, you're good at that. Thank you for doing that. That helps build connection. And then repair, repair, repair. Relationships need a lot of work. We hurt each other. We misunderstand each other. We damage the relationship. And so we constantly have to find ways to repair the damage that is done so there's nothing between us, nothing that has severed the connection that we have felt. So bottom line is relationships, maintaining connection takes a lot of work. And that's why you can't have that deeper connection with a whole lot of people because you just don't have the time or the energy. It can only happen with a small number of people in order to do that. So I hope that helps you. I want to end by just talking about practical ways of connecting with self, because that's where we have to start the healing in reparenting ourselves. We have to connect with the wounded part of us and help it heal. So you have to, number one, have an attitude toward yourself of self-compassion. Being hard on yourself, beating yourself up, down on yourself, punishing yourself, that hinders connecting to yourself. Self-compassion becomes the cornerstone of that. Then become mindful of yourself. So stop in your day, and many do this via journaling, and go, how am I doing intellectually? Am I worrying? Am I obsessing? Am I believing old lies? What tapes are playing in my head? How am I doing emotionally? What emotions are happening? Okay, why am I feeling that emotion? What's the hurt under that emotion? And so you begin to become mindful, more self-aware, more understanding of who you are. And then become aware of when you tend to disconnect from yourself. What kind of events, what kind of things in your life result in you starting to disconnect from your emotions? Most people need a daily routine that helps them connect. They just don't do it very well spontaneously. They got to schedule time.
Do you see what we've done? Come on, that's Tim right there. Let me just, Tim Fletcher is on complete fire. And I want to shout out our winner. Her name is Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor, I hope you enjoy those tickets to see the Four Queens. All right? Mother's Day, May 11th at the Kia Forum. We appreciate you for tapping in. Straight from KBLA. You already know what it is. Let me get back to Tim Fletcher. He cooking. Don't you think there's an over-reliance on our significant others to show up in ways that our parents didn't? To show up in ways that we don't for ourselves? Did you hear the formula Tim Fletcher just laid out when he started going into the self-awareness work, self-compassion? I just ran through the whole litany of those things before I even got to that clip. And I don't listen to the clips ahead of time. I hear them when you hear them. So he just gave you the whole blueprint for how you rewrite the narrative that was poured into you from broken people. I don't care what you say. I don't care how good your childhood was. Everybody has some issues. You could have two securely attached parents and they still have issues internally. Okay? See, we're quick. We love to evaluate and judge and place in a category in this community, in this society. Right? Oh my, I'm secure, so that means I'm better. We always do that. And securely attached people can be pulled anxious, preoccupied. They can be pulled dismissive. They can be pulled fearful, avoidant. It's fluid. Everybody goes through things. And yes, securely attached parents raise more balanced children, but that don't mean those children can't go out into the world and get pulled anxious or avoidant, or a combination of both. Okay? This is not a place, the spirituality is not a place for hierarchy. We do that to ourselves all the time. Create a hierarchy, better than, not as good as. What I'm saying is, you have work to do that has nothing to do with your significant other. And if you want to improve the relationship, we have to stop leaning so much on our partner to steward us in our internal work. Our work is ours. It's not theirs. They can't pick up where your papa left off. They can't pick up where your mother left off. They can't. It's not their responsibility because they have their own work internally to face. Do you understand? The inner child industry thrives on a dangerous tautology. To heal childhood wounds, one must regress to the state that made one vulnerable to wounding. Therapists prescribing stuffed animals, Fleming, and mantras risk infantilizing survivors in ways mirroring their original disempowerment. All right? This is real. Epigenetics reveal trauma lives in our DNA. Bill Lipton. Yet reparenting's answer, self-administered cognitive behavioral therapy, often resembles non-liberal or neoliberal self-optimization. When AI companions, Replica, offer better reparenting by avoiding human transference, Freud, we must ask, does healing require deleting our humanity? See, let me explain. What you went through in childhood is necessary. That is the crucible. That is the fire you must walk through. Nobody wants to walk through the fire. They want to be carried through the fire by a significant other. And that is deemed as the one. Prince Charming, Princess Charming, they don't exist. Who's going to carry them through the fire? You haven't built up enough resilience to face yourself. Heavy stuff tonight. Listen, when I come forward, I'm going to get my callers on the line, and we're going to break this down. My brother, John, Mountain View, Hawaii, is up next. Davy Lee. Where are my sisters in the chat? I need y'all to get in here. Can we talk today? Man, Smitty, I didn't even have to ask. 2389. Smitty, 2389 Smith. Thank you for that 5 spot. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot. I didn't even have to ask. I appreciate that. Thank you. I see you. I'm getting right here. We finna chop it up right now. I can't wait until I get my beard trimmed up real cold. Like, it's just so itchy right now. They want someone else to do the work so that person can be blamed for not changing them. Hence, see? Huh. Work is not done, just saying. Co-regulating with my bearded dragon. Right now, he's such a sweetie. Empress, you be in here. Empress, you should call in. People in the background. People in the background not commenting. Say what's up to your brother at least. What happened to common courtesy? Come in and say, hello, Zoe, what's happening? I can't call in. I'm at work like Empress. I can't call in, but I want to say hi. Laughing Raccoon, what up? That's a name right there, Laughing Raccoon. That is a name. Phil Bradley, Wagwan. You know the Mac is here. What up, Suge Mac 510? Yee yee.
So at the heart of the mythic reality of the archetype of the king is longing to move toward a just order. In many traditions, the royal throne is directly connected with an eternal sense of the law, the right order. In Egypt, it was Ma'at. In Hebrew tradition, it was Torah. And in Chinese traditions would be seen as the Tao. And you can go on and on and on, but there's a sense of the connection with the true king, with a just intent for the cosmic order. So that begins, and so hence the concern to be able to make the land flourish so that people have food, and they have plenty. So the image of abundance that is associated Remember when the Grail came in, it's almost like a cornucopia. The sense of abundance begins to pour forth resources, provisions. As this capacity integrates in a more mature way, there is an increasing capacity for centering and calmness. Many people who meditate in a lotus position, seeking the deep true center, do not realize that they are doing in what might be seen in effect as a royal yoga, a capacity to sit in the throne at the center of the world, which is a still point amongst the four quarters of the turning world.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you are a man with some adequate connection to this royal center, you will not have an intense anxiety disorder. So when you see somebody with runaway anxiety, you know how alienated they are from this part of personality. But as this capacity matures, then a moral flourishing results, and this is the capacity for inclusive caring,
Mm-hmm.
The cold and heartless triage. You know triage? Triage is when you're going to decide who you're going to leave out.
Mm.
And you're not going to care
Mm-hmm.
about the one that cannot clamor for what they need.
Mm-hmm.
This is the story in the Christian myth. The reference to the Good Shepherd. Because the story of the Good Shepherd in the Gospels is a reference to a messianic royal virtue. And that is, there may be 99 sheep already in the fold, but the Good Shepherd is aware that one is missing and will put forceful resources to work in finding that one who might be lost.
Mm-hmm.
So the capacity for inclusive caring is at the heart, and then flourishing with that is a strength-based power to bless. So at the flourishing of this royal capacity in the female or the male soul is the capacity to bless others and bless the world in the stewardship of the power that this person has. And you can tell when the royal sector is not matured by the absence of efforts to bless.
Ooh, by the absence of the essence or the efforts to bless. Now, look at us today. All of our relationships are about getting. The reason why you're so focused on getting is because you're wounded. Wounds have demands. Do you see? The inner child is saying, feed me, feed me, feed me. First off, the inner child is the gift. But because it modeled a broken pattern, do you see? Right? We haven't gone in to nurture the inner child the way it was supposed to be nurtured. Guess what? You have the agency to do it. The intrapersonal relationship. He's talking about this. You hear him speaking in these metaphysical ways, right? These philosophical ways. That was Robert Moore. You hear him talking in these cryptic kind of ways. But what he's saying is, using metaphor, is to say, you are the savior, the self-savior. Not to disrespect Christ. Christ is your personal savior, but you have work to do with regards to the work of saving you. Do you understand? Not anybody else. Hell, Christ ain't gonna let you throw it off on him either. Christ is gonna say, I've endowed you with the ability to heal you, to lead you. Do you understand? To love on you in a way that sets the tone for how everyone else will love on you. Even in in the event that your primary caregiver didn't love on you that way. I've invested in you the power to do it for you, which is a hallmark, a calling card, a beacon to all others who are and are not ready to love you. I don't know if you do you understand? We've got relationships reversed. They got to do it. They got to show up. They got to, and then they're on probation. They're on wound probation. We got to see how long this gonna last, because the last one was good for the first year and a half, for the first 2 years, and then we hit a bump, and then we never recovered. Do you understand? We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. John from Mountain View, get up in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
How do you preview a wound expecting it to not be there?
Ooh, keep going. Go Pastor John.
Wait. First and foremost, let me try and address this in the sense of, you said something about growing your beard, right?
Uh-oh. Yeah, go ahead. I'm with you. Come on.
I mean, but for you to grow the beard, you gotta leave it alone.
Okay, I hear you, John. Leave the beard out of it. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead, John.
No, sir. Because again, in the process of learning anything that goes on in this life, you have to go through the steps.
That's right. I agree.
So for you to choose your preemptive measure that you know you're going to be embarrassed by, and you're telling yourself beforehand, I'm not going through that. Lies.
Where are the keys? Where are the organs? Go ahead.
Close the door.
Close the door. Somebody close. Ushers. Close the door.
The whole point of life is yes, you're in the fishbowl. You're being looked at.
Don't go nowhere. No, don't go nowhere. Stay with the fishbowl. Stay with the fishbowl. When we come forward, more from the Big Island. We lit tonight. Passer on fire. What up, y'all? My people who are in the chat right now. What are your thoughts? Where's Royalty? Royalty, are you caught up? Royalty, are you caught up? Oh, hell, look who's online. We got 3 people holding. The aquarium is from this morning. You know what it is. I was wilding on the aquarium. I was wilding. That first hour got up out of here. Royalty shook the spot, I see. That show about the aliens on Hulu is a show within a show, and they really have people in a fishbowl. Really? I didn't know that. Hey, I hope our brother from Tennessee is okay. Cashville. What's our brother? Y'all know who I'm talking about from Cashville. I hope he's okay. We ain't seen him in a week.
Become your cellmate. Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy snack? The child wasn't here, and you still had to play child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like the kiss of this okay, roll up there.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant. Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad touch routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches the nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So William. Reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
ఇంత ప్రేమను పెంచి ఇన్ని విధాలు మీకు ఇది చేసినప్పుడు ఈ కృతజ్ఞత రక్తంలో ప్రతి బొట్టు లోపల కూడా ఇచ్చిపోవాలి.
Every drop of blood should be full of gratitude.
కొన్ని చిన్న ఉదాహరణలు.
A small example.
లైన్ డాన్స్ నేర్పించాలని
To train students in this line dance.
వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్
The vice chancellor,
ఎవరు సింగపూర్ ఫోన్ చేశాడు.
he just rang up to Singapore.
ఒక ట్రైనర్ ఇక్కడ పంపించండి.
A trainer is brought all the way,
వచ్చాడు.
and he came here, trainer.
వచ్చేటప్పటికి వీళ్ళు ఎవరు ఏమి విచారించలేదు.
The boys were not ready.
ఈనాటి చదువులు ఎట్లున్నాయంటే
And how to present position?
కామన్ సెన్స్ జనరల్ నాలెడ్జ్ జీరో.
The common sense, general knowledge are a big zero today.
కానీ పాఠాల లోపల మాత్రం మంచి హీరోస్.
But in academic excellence, they are heroes.
అడిగిన ప్రశ్నకంతా జవాబు చెప్తారు.
And they'll reply any question you put.
దాంట్లో హీరోలు కానీ జనరల్ నాలెడ్జ్ జీరో.
But in general knowledge, you are
ఏం
zero.
చేయని వారికి అనేటువంటి తెలియదు.
They don't know what is to be done.
అప్పుడు నిన్న నేను వార్డెన్ పిలిచి
Bhagwan asked the warden. He asked him, warden,
అందరినీ పిలిపించావు.
you brought
కానీ
him.
మనం సంతోషించాం.
You are happy.
పిల్లలు సంతోషించారు.
Boys are happy.
కానీ అతన్ని కూడా సంతోష పెట్టాలి.
And you should make the trainer also
కాబట్టి
happy.
ఏం చేసేయాలి?
Then what is it to be done?
ఏమి తెలియదు స్వామి అన్నాడు.
The warden said, I don't know.
పిచ్చివాడా, ఇంతటితో పోకూడదు.
You shouldn't stop.
ప్రతి పిల్లవాడి యొక్క విషయం కూడా, ప్రతి ట్రైనర్ యొక్క విషయం కూడా స్వామి స్వయంగా చూస్తూ వచ్చాడు.
Swami attends personally on every student, every trainer.
మీరు అనుకుంటారు స్వామి ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాడు ఇది తెలియదు అనుకుంటారు.
You think Swami moves about, he doesn't know these
కానీ
things.
ఇక్కడ అక్కడ ఎక్కడ చూసిన ఒక్కడే ఆత్మలో వాక్కుపోయి ఉన్నాడు.
And even if you don't understand what he's saying, I know what he's saying, and I'll translate. He's really saying, even though he has a translator, you can hear the words. But again, so many of us are put off by the mistakes we make. So many of us are put off by the pain that was caused to us early on in life, that we lose the necessary resilience to keep going, to focus. We think we're abandoned by God. Why? Because we were abandoned by our parents. They were our first gods, right? But the reality of it is, God can't abandon himself. And you have always been a part of God. When God is abandoned in you, it's only because you've lost sight of him in you. Maybe you were never taught that God is in you, through and through, right? In you, in every aspect of you, even the shadow side. Maybe you weren't educated that way, and you have to be reconditioned in order to experience another level of freedom. Do you see? It's not your partner's responsibility to have these types of discussions and inner inquiries. It's on you to prepare yourself to receive something that appears to be an illusion. We were taught love is getting what you want. Love is satisfaction. Love is happiness. Love is joy. And then we're blindsided when love shows up and it's hurtful, it's painful, it's betrayal, it's disrespect, it's condescension. And you say, well, wait a minute. Zoe, you said love is unconditional freedom. Love is synonymous with God. What are you saying now? What I'm saying is, oftentimes, how we define love is limiting. Love itself transcends polar opposites, duality. You've heard me say it before in many shows. Many of us have misinterpreted attachment as love. We're calling it love, but we haven't done the work to actually achieve unconditional love. We are bound by the patterns that raised us. How are you going to experience unconditional love and you're still bound? You see? That's why love is equated with satiation. This person satiates me, so they must love me. That's not love. Love is beyond that. Well beyond it. And because it's not as tangible as you would like it to be, you chalk it up as, oh, that's unrealistic. Or you say love is these attachment wounds, right? And if somebody loved you, they wouldn't hurt you. No, wounded people hurt other wounded people. They hurt healed people. Do you understand? Like, this is what happens when you haven't dealt with dukkha. That's the Buddhist term, dukkha, suffering. So many people are so happy when they find their person because their person becomes their crutch. Their person becomes their excuse. Your person is not your reparenting partner. They have their own responsibility to reparent, to recontextualize. They're not here to do your reparenting work, but through unrealistic expectations, we put that on them. Let me get my brother back in here, John from Mountain View, Hawaii. He was cooking on the fish bowl. He was talking about an aquarium. I want to know. Talk to me.
Well, again, to the aquarium, you act as though you're not still in a space where something has to feed you, control you, or give you life, which again is in the water.
Keep going.
But nonetheless, let's take it back to the beard because, truthfully speaking, you're going to look homeless for the next 2 weeks.
Homeless. I love it, brother. For the next 2 weeks,
but unfortunately, this is part of the process. For your luscious beard to grow, you must allow it to doggone do what it do. Yes, it itches. Yes, it's uncontrollable. Yes, you hate going through that part. But I guarantee you this. If you understand your follicles is having to go through the tests and trials of taking the moisture out so it can show that it can grow.
I agree with you. I got to go through the fire of beard growth. I hear you. Where's Shaka Khan when you need her? Through the fire. Where's she at? No, but I agree.
But all of these are the same processes and virtually the same measure of earning this thing we call love. Because again, you do earn it.
Yes. Yes.
You earn it through going through these processes.
Right.
You earn it by the way of showing that once you finally get it, now you have it to give, and who's going to be the first victim?
Ooh, I love that, brother. I love that. Guess what you just did, my friend, my partner, my brother, my partner in crime, Passer. Guess what you just did?
Mountain View is in the house. Love you, brother.
Love you, man. Love you, man. Thank you. Hey, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. This is good stuff tonight. This is good stuff tonight. So many of us play too many games. You want to mimic social standards and let me strategize and organize your life because that's what a good woman does. We're going on trips and oh yes, and we're doing this and we're doing. Listen, a lot of doing, not enough being. Who are you when there's nothing to do? Are you doing because you're anxious in the presence of your shadow are you doing because you're trying to escape the dark chasm that you have thrown every opportunity to really love yourself down? You got to keep doing. You got to keep going because you know if you stop, you're going to be waiting on you. The part of you that you loathe, the part of you that you don't love. While at the same time, I mean, aren't we looking for congruence? Isn't that individuation? We want congruence, huh? How is it that you've made excuses for the brokenness of your parents, but because they got you to high school and they got you to college and they got you to your first career, they did the best they could do, and I won't even look at any of the things that I modeled. I'm gonna love them despite that. Or do you love them? Really? Or are you afraid to hurt them by telling the truth to yourself? Do you have to go to them and tell them what you've discovered? They've got their own journey. What about yours? Oftentimes we want to go talk to mama. We want an explanation from mama. Sometimes you don't need that explanation from mama. Sometimes you coming to the aha moment of, I got that from mama, is not for mama. Might just be for you. Do you understand? We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Attila, Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts?
Tio, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're on the line. What are your
First of all,
thoughts?
this topic's fire. Okay, so there's this saying, I don't know if you've heard it. I recently heard it. Someone said, if you think you're healed, go home.
Ooh. If you think you're healed, go home.
Mm-hmm.
Say
That's
more.
what I did. I went home.
Oh.
I went home. I went home. And I will say this. I think the more aware of yourself you become, the more you see your own faux pas, and the more you can tell whether or not you are in your authentic self or if you're in your maybe more pleasant, pleasing role that maybe your parents have had you play. So, if that makes sense.
But what if you just said something that's powerful here, and I want you to hold that thought because I know it's a good one. But what if you go home and you're performative at home? What if your mask? Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, what I felt this weekend, I did feel the urge at times to perform. And I think what I found is that the anxiety that normally would mount up that would continue the performance has lowered and has lessened a lot for me. Because I realized, like, I don't need to. The real truth is that I have a reality or a life outside of my family and outside of my parents because I live 4 hours away from them, and that's okay. It's okay. That does not make me any less me. And I can bring parts of that home. And even if they're not accepted, it's still part of me. Period. And so I think in terms of being performative at home, I mean, that's the biggest test. If you feel the urge to perform and you go forward with it, and more importantly, you keep it up to the point that you no longer want to be at home, maybe you're not as healed as you think you are. If I can sit in the discomfort of someone trying to pressure me to be something that I'm not or be something that is more palatable to them, and I can sit and breathe through that and say, no, I am who I am, I love who I am, and I'm actually going to continue to be that even if they don't like it, maybe you good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you done a little bit of work, but I think that I could definitely feel that tug, and I could feel those wounds of, like, maybe wanting to be heard or wanting to be seen a certain way. And I'm like, okay, I see I still have room, work I need to do in this area. So, again, if you're healed, it says if you think you're healed, go home.
Go home. Ooh, Lord, this reminds me of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Many of us go home and we're exactly the same as we were when we left.
You go straight into that role, straight into whatever it was you were doing before you left home. Because what I think of it as like a muscle. It's like a muscle going right back into that same position, right? And so there's a certain level of comfort in that. But again, like I said, if you really are trying to do your work, or you really are trying to kind of move past that, and you want to see your parents, you know what I'm saying, like move past whatever their issues are, whatever the case may be, Like, you have to kind of sit in the discomfort. And something else that I found too, I really love celebrating my mother this weekend because it was really good to just see her be loved. That was something that I think I was always kind of worried about as a child. And so to kind of see that come full circle, it really, I don't know, it just made me so happy to see. And I was like, dang, like, this is really good. And I felt good celebrating her too. And I knew then I was like, okay, I feel like I let go of the pain, the anxiety, the whatever anger or just, resentment that I had before. And it just let me know, like, my mom is a woman. Yes, she is my mother, but she's also a woman with her own reality, her own needs, her own agendas and friends and whatnot. So again, it was a really good experience. And I'm hoping to have more experiences like that.
Man, I'm so happy because I was waiting for the conversation about how it went. But I'm just so happy that it turned out great for you, niece. Listen, guess what you just did?
How about Houston, the building?
Houston, Texas is in the house. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know the deal. All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580 when we come forward. More from the phone lines.
Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Phil Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's your thank you. Huh? That's your thank you. Yeah, man. I love that. What up, what up, what up? Hey, John. Fire call. Attila. Fire call. Y'all wildin' tonight. Get in here. Hey, that's all right, John. I'm going to be on the homeless beard side of the game. But come time for my round table, this shit going to be crispy as a $2 bill. You know how crispy them $2 bills be? I got a stack from the bank. They was like... Volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. I'm not going to get that white pencil outline. I don't do that, no. She said, go get the white pencil on. No, not going to be able to do it. Not anymore. Meet Audion Hearing. Get some beard oil, sir. Of course, I got that too. I got all of the little newfangled mess. I got it all. 2025 by Forbes Health. And with over 1 million customers, Audion is easy to trust. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN. What? It be really some gay dudes in here. What? Let me delete this nigga.
Turns out I have
What the
atrial
fuck?
fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go.
That's a high level of gaiety.
If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
You can't even play.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by
Boy, the internet is a wild place.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement.
Ridiculous. Welcome back, bro. Good to see you up in here.
Yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space.
Crazy bots, yeah.
In hard times, the immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization.
Andy, what you eating? Hey, Andy be, boy, Andy got plates, bowls, and I don't mean paper plates. I mean real ass plates. Hey, Andy don't be playing.
To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find
Listen,
them on Instagram.
I told y'all it's a full kitchen in that mug. Literally a full kitchen.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm super happy.
Expectations. We want everything. We want a partner to be an entire community. My best friend, my trusted confidant, my passionate lover, my intellectual equal, my co-parent. And on top of it, I want with you to deal with all the vicissitudes of the everyday life and all of what we need to get to, all of that. And then we should also be passionate, great lovers. You don't ask one person to give you what a whole village should actually give you. What does it mean to find the right person? And there I will say, the simplest way of looking at it is this. There are many people you will love, and they are not necessarily the same people that you will make a life with. Are you looking for a love story?
Man, it takes a village to raise a kid. So you shouldn't expect your significant other to do the work by themselves, to continue the work. If you come out of that household with a wounded inner child, and you expect your partner to be a Swiss Army knife, be able to do everything, you're performative at work, you're performative in your friend circle, you're performative with family, and then you expect them to make up the slack? Come on. And it's their fault if the relationship don't work. Really? 1-800-920-1580. Most people are not equipped to deal with the humanity of another because they haven't dealt with the humanity of themselves. What does that mean? Yes, human beings are going to let you down. Human beings are not always going to be able to show up in the way that you need them to. They're not always going to have the capacity. Guess what? It's a rat race to keep all of your subscriptions paid. Where do you find the time for self-realization, for self-actualization? Don't you know do you know what relationship is really supposed to be for you and your partner once healed? It's supposed to be moksha. It's supposed to be nirvana. It's supposed to be self-realization at the highest level. It's supposed to be the physical embodiment, right, of namaste. It's supposed to be that. But typically, it's about managing expectations, desires, and outcomes because wounds are insatiable. They have an insatiable appetite for stimulation. Stimulation means we're doing well. We're still stimulated. What's the next stimulating thing we're going to do? I know you don't want to hear it put that way. You say, no, I like to be by myself. Yeah, I believe it. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Old school, legendary caller. Haven't heard from this brother in a minute, but we are absolutely thrilled to welcome him back into the Voice of Reason fold. He has lost no credits. He comes in at the same rank he left. That's OG Truth Teller. What up, Sean? From Oakland, California. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Brother, thank you. First of all, this is exactly my call. You are so kind to be, doing that intro with me. My thing is this, people, is that, everything we're going through, and there's going to be a lot we're going to be going through, and I can guarantee you we're going to be going through it. Check in with everybody that you care about. Check in with everybody. Check in. They may not want you to check in, but check in with them, because that's the example you want to set, going forward. You want to make sure that people know that I care about you, and I understand you maybe everything's great or everything's not great, but just that I'm there for you if you need me. And I think everything you're talking about, that's what I'm talking about. Because, as we are right now, we may not be in a good place. And we may be in a good place, but I don't like speculating. So I'm saying, take care of your brothers and sisters.
Come on.
All throughout anybody you're talking with. And make sure to check in with them and say, hey, I'm here with you in case anything happens.
Right. Man, I love that. Sean, I love that, brother. And like I said, everybody in the chat room are so happy to hear your voice. You're part of the Voice of Reason family, brother, from here on out. And regardless, man, we're always good. We love you. And guess what you just did?
Brother, my mother who just passed peacefully would say to everyone, he brought the world into the building.
Thank you, brother. We love you, man. Thank you, and peace to your family during this difficult time. Nothing but love. Sean from Oakland, California. Call in anytime when I come forward. I'm going to Pensacola, Florida. J-Dub been calling in. J-Dub is good. Cali Soul. Nephew in the building. Yeah, we shouted out J-Dub and his mom, and he called in. What should I eat tonight? Pasta? Italian. Over here in therapy. Angel hair. Smokerini. I have an Italian chef. Romero's Cragagacci. It's always a pasta time. I'm going to try and get some Kilauea nachos over here. Come on. I hope I said that right. Turkish food. That's what my boy, he over there. Or a good ass smoothie. A smoothie would be fire right now. Skragagachi. It's a made up name. You don't remember that scene in Purple Rain when Morris Day is talking to Apollonia? I got a brass water bed. I got an Italian chef. Something Romero Scragagacci, something. I don't know his name. Scampi might be good. And I don't even like seafood like that. Morris was a complete fool. Scragagacci. And here's a bit of trivia. If you go, forget which album it's on. I think it's on the Ice Cream Castles album. If you go to that album, there's a song called Chili Sauce. Look up the song Chili Sauce. See, back in the 80s, guys was really big on being able to mack a girl down. This is Morris Day macking a girl down. That turns into the scene, or this is after Purple Rain, the movie. This turns into a song called Chili Sauce. Written and produced by Prince, by the way. Here, chili sauce. Pasta is a haymaker. Hey, this show is flying. It can be chicken scampi. Oh, that sounds good. Now that I would eat.
Featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number, because Ray, he's going to text it live, and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
most likely that my parents will die before I will. And at present, it doesn't look like we have any way of reconciling or reconnecting on any level. And so I think about what happens when they pass, what happens when they die. Well, I think there are a few things. I won't lose companionship from them because I haven't had that really ever in my life, and definitely for a long time in my adult life. I haven't had a positive relationship that I will miss or that I will, I will mourn. And actually, talking of mourning, that's really what I've been doing through the estrangement process, is mourning the loss of the hope that I will ever have a relationship with them, have the relationship that I want.
So what if we look at mom and dad as a necessary program in the motherboard of our spirit? And if that program is faulty, outdated, how do we then take our relationship desires and expectations into a healthy relational environment? Again, relationship is the mirror of what is in you. This is how all relationships are conflictual. If you were raised in a household that didn't deal with conflict well, was avoidant towards conflict, or made you an avoidant, where you see all conflict as a personal attack, relationships are conflictual by nature. What if this conflict, unresolved, right, sits in your spirit, and you got to walk that into an adult relationship? How are you going to process when you get triggered? Right? Very interesting stuff tonight. Pensacola, Florida. One of my favorites is in the building. Legendary Nzinga. What up, Nzinga?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
I'm gonna be quick. Okay, so over the years you've instilled in us that it's not our significant other's responsibility to be the parent that we needed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their responsibility to pick up that baton where the parents dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could partly be, I know maybe it's a misinterpretation of that scripture, when you leave your mom and dad, you cleave to your wife. Maybe it's a misinterpretation of that, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm, like, when you were talking earlier, adoption came into mind.
Ooh, go ahead.
It's almost like, when you go to mixers or day parties, that's like private adoption, where you get to touch and see the children and meet them and talk to them and decide if you want to take them home. And then you have the apps. Those are like state-run agencies, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You got pictures, you got profiles. And just like an adoption agency, you can eventually meet them and take them home. But sometimes you take them home and it turns into like, when you take them to the forever home, it turns into like that situation like the orphan, that scary movie with that little girl.
Mm-hmm. It turns into a problem sometimes. Yes, keep going. I'm listening.
You got a psycho, you got a psycho on your hand. Between me and you, sometimes I've been the psycho.
Ooh, come with the truth. Come on. This is no judgment zone. Come on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just like playing. Oh, Andy on the keys, as always. Thank you, Andy. But, I think the hardest thing in my self, therapy and, going to it, I think the hardest thing for me is I've had to come to grips with, I have to create my own foundation, my own environment. I'm responsible for the safety and the softness. That's something that I create, And, I'm getting more comfortable with that every day.
Right.
And I realized that it was a lot to put on men. From my point of view, it's a lot to put on men, even the ones who are willing to do it, because that can even turn easily into like an ungrateful manipulation type of situation if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think men are going through their own emotional epochs but on a corporate level.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we have to give that space as well.
Right.
Because I think women kind of readopted the patriarchy a little bit.
Ooh, go ahead. What you on right now? What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, hold on.
Navigate it.
Hold
You
on.
understand what I'm saying?
Hold on. Give me a. Where's the Price is Right? Come on, man. Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Voice of Reason. Come on. What?
Look, I don't believe in, betraying myself because men think that women don't have accountability. It's not that we don't have accountability. It's just not going to be like the Tootsies and the Hootsies trial in front of everybody. It's more of a private thing, like it normally is, girl, what you got going on, or sometimes we call each other expletives, some of us do.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's more like, what you got going on? I thought you going to forgive him, or you going to stay, so we do, but it's just not some public trial. It's not a public beating. It's normally, one-on-one, and it's done with compassion, so,
wow.
But we, I do think that in order to navigate this world, you have to adopt some of the traits of the patriarchy. In order to navigate, in order to be successful, sometimes you have to. But now I'm learning that I don't, I rest in my femininity. You have to have a little bit of masculine to get the stuff done. But for the most part, you don't have to operate in that. And so, I think that's the realization that women are coming to as well. But we have to create that self-life for ourselves. It's not anybody else's responsibility.
Ooh, well, let me just say this, man. I love it when you take the gloves off. Boy, when Nzinga want to take the gloves off, she take the gloves off, man. Andy in here, he back there running back and forth, looking at the camera. He looking at me. Andy, she on fire. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Nzinga, guess what you just did?
I brought that score in the building. Thank you for letting me do so. Good night.
Yeah. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Listen, when we come forward, if you think I'm done cooking this topic, you absolutely wrong. Zinga!
That's right. So don't keep his hopes up.
You got to knock it off, Andy. We need another caller. I need one more caller.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Granger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Granger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done. Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers, and sometimes it's an overlooked account. Forgot to encrypt their
No. Oh, you got stuff to get off. Okay. Hey, John Kilbreath is calling back. He said he got stuff to get off his chest. Oh, shit. You know what I hope? I haven't said much about this, but I wonder what kind of awards my son may win for his season in Turkey. Motherfucker had one for the record books. Ooh. So I had originally 13 chapters. It has been reduced to 11. It's coming. It's a book. It's coming.
Communists are doing. That's what the socialists are doing. That's what the Democrats are doing. They are hoping by changing the outer, they're going to change the inner structure, nature of human beings. But we are saying the contrary. That's the understanding the depth of life, the beauty, the goodness and soul, inwardly to understand by watching in our relationship what we are and penetrating deeper and deeper without analysis. It becomes very difficult. I won't go into all that. Analysis, briefly, analysis implies the analyzer. Is the analyzer different from that which is analyzing? Of course not. You follow? The analyzer is part of thought. And the analyze is also part of thought. So he played the game with himself all the time. So we are saying that requires much, that's not the point for the moment. We are saying the analyzer is the analyzed, the observer, the one who witnesses is the observer.
Man, Krishna Hurti. He's right. Again, I'm so sick of people, oh, it's too deep. Man, relationships ain't that complicated. Yes, they are. They're spiritual machines, time machines. You can go anywhere in time, especially now. Many of us choose to go to the most visited destination, the past, and then the most coveted destination, the future, skipping and bypassing the most powerful portion of time, the now. Right? The now is new. That which is unconditional is new. That which is from the past is old. That which is from the future never arrives, so it's non-existent. Do you see? The most magical part of time is right now. We got callers on the line. Let me get them in here. Now's the time to be your best self. Now's the time to start your healing journey. Now's the time to embrace yourself, love yourself, approve of yourself. Cali Soul, Denver, Colorado. Get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I'm really enjoying the topic, and I have a question for you.
Yes.
If I hear what you're saying with our partners, it is not their job to do our healing work. It is our job as individuals to do our healing work. But I have questions about affirmation because people are motivated by affirmation. So, like, what does the balance look like?
So
in regards to relationship?
So you're ready for tomorrow's topic. Validation versus words of affirmation. Because many people will try to use the affirmation as the back door into validation, which is what the wound wants. You see, many people try to backdoor you to get you to validate them, which is what they've always wanted, which is what the wound wants. That's tomorrow's topic.
Yes.
Affirmation versus validation. See, a validating partner is, don't worry, you're going to fall a bunch more times. But guess what? Every time you fall, I'm going to be right here to offer you a hand to get up. And we're going to walk through it. I'm going to encourage you through every fall. We're going to walk through this together. Now, I'm walking beside you in a companionate fashion because I know I can't carry what you're carrying. We did that last week with the cross. It's not my cross to bear, but that doesn't mean I abandon you when you carry your cross. But many of us cross the wires between words of affirmation and validation. You see? Come on, Callie. I know your spirit is in tune. You already know what we own. Callie, guess what you just did? I see you tomorrow. You brought Denver in the building. We love Cali Soul. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. 1-800-920-1580. Nothing but love from Denver, Colorado. Let's bounce to Mountain View, Hawaii. John done got back in here. John, what are your thoughts?
Just briefly, we're having a discussion in the chat, and I thought this was pertinent to what is going on here. There's a simple fact that someone can easily give you the purpose that they have in their life to you, and you could see it as something that's against you.
An attack, right?
I mean, when somebody actually is helping you out in your situation, being the parent or helping you through whatever they claim is a lovable way, and you still don't want to see the revelation of you.
Well, hold on, John. It's not they don't want to, because typically it's still coming from childhood. If you're offering help and they never got help from a healthy parent, help looks like a threat because it's not normal. It's not a part of their norm. That's just like a kid who had a parent that was not attuned to their emotional needs. They were stoic. They were emotionless, even though they provided the everyday needs. They didn't give. They didn't open up. So what happens is when they attract a person who opens up, that is foreign. It feels like an attack. It's like, oh my God, get back. I've never had this. I don't know how to act when I get it.
We understand the above, but we can also state with sincerity and with truth. The woman who chooses the thug continuously and finds the healed man a threat, check fire.
It don't even have to be a thug. You know what it could be? It could be a simp. It could be a good dude. It could be a good dude. It could be a performer. Do you understand? Listen.
I understand all of the above. It's just there's so many different dynamics that this could be seen from. I'm just trying to point out a few.
And I love it. Listen, when you're wounded, I'm gonna say it this way. Do you know the wound has a grocery list? Do you hear me? Come, huh? The wound done sat down and said, I like this, and if you do this, if you do, and then, they tailor making this as they meet somebody that kind of fits this, and then if they can get away with everything on the list, come on.
So again, you need your wounds bespoke. Is that what you're asking me?
Bespoke wounding. Come on. Tailor made. Hey, you did it again. You brought Mountain View in the building. We appreciate it. Let me run over here. I only got, listen, Jerry from Beverly Hills. I only got 10 seconds. I don't know if he could say what he needs to say in 10 seconds, but I want to get him in here.
Oh, well, it's a big 2-4 if you say to somebody just man, I love you.
Yeah, that might be a little. Yeah, that's a little too forward. You can't just say it off the rip. Hold it. You might really love them, but hold it for a minute. Jerry, we love you. You just brought Beverly Hills in the building. Listen. The voice of reason starts the conversation. It is not a prerequisite that you agree with anything I say, but I just would like for you to continue the conversation. This is Monday, but guess what? It's going to be a whole week full of Monday slappers, so get ready, buckle up. Voice of reason all week long, and don't forget, go to themiracleinglewood.com and buy your tickets for my relationship roundtable May 31st, 7 p.m., the Miracle Theater. You know what it is. Great show. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Yeah, it's going to be good tomorrow. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Number love. All right, we out. Deuces.